Hey everybody, Ed Casper here. Our company's called Casper Ag Solutions, and today we're going to talk about something real simple you can do on your farm to measure emergence. This is something that we did last year. We did 10 or 12 plots. We came away with 7 or 8 plots of really good information and published the results in the book, kind of explained how we did it. But we're going to go through today. This is something you can do on your farm. Doesn't cost a whole lot of money. It just costs you time. This isn't my idea. I wish it was. The first time I heard of this is when I heard Randy Dowdy speak 3 years ago at one of our grower meetings. He brought this up, and I thought, that's a good idea. That makes good sense. And then in the blink of an eye, your springtime's gone, and you didn't get out there in time to do it. Last 2016, Mike up at PNC Ag in Michigan, you should check them guys out. A lot of good stuff going on. They did it and published a book, and it was amazing what they found. And that prompted us to say, okay, we need to do this. We need to make the time. If someone tells you they don't have time to do something, what they're telling you is it's not a priority. There's always time to do things. I just get a kick out of farmers who are so busy they can't do anything, but they can sit at the coffee shop all morning, and they can go out for lunch, and they can sit around and drink beer. So those are the guys that aren't watching this video, trust me. So what do you need to do this? You need to plant corn. You need a tape measure. You need a bucket, preferably many buckets. You need a little, like a post office scale. I think I got this from Office Depot for 10 bucks or 15 bucks. Measures ounces. And flags, preferably many orange flags. You want to make orange your day one, because hopefully most of your emergence is day one, and orange are the easiest to find. But you're going to need 4 or 5 different color flags. So for the tape measure, you want to go out there. We did 100 foot, and 100 foot seems to give a really good test size for what we're trying to measure here. You can do, if you're in 30-inch rows, you can do 17 foot 5 inches. But 17 foot 5 inches, it's kind of easy to say that that's a good 20 foot, that's not a good 20 foot. We did 100 just to get a true picture of what we were trying to measure. So you measure your 100 foot, you've planted your corn, and you keep an eye on when those first plants pop out of the ground. So you're watching this field about the same time every day. Mostly these farms we did about lunchtime. So you come out on lunchtime, nothing there. Come back the next day around lunchtime, nothing there. You come back the next day around lunchtime, you know what? Corn has spiked through the ground. Those are your day one emergers. Those get an orange flag by them, day one. So you go up and down your 100 foot or your 17 foot 5 inches, and you watch real close. You go down, you come back, you go down, you come back. All the day one emergers, they need an orange flag. Come back 24 hours later. Any plants that came up in that 24-hour period, they get a different colored flag. And I don't care what color it is, white, pink, blue, whatever. Do it again 24 hours later, do it again 24 hours later, until all of the plants in that stretch that you measured are accounted for. And what I want you to do is write it down, say, okay, it was planted on this date, it emerged on this date. We have how many plants total? It should be like 180 to 200. And how many were day one, day two, day three, day four? Okay. So you follow that through to harvest, and you get out there and you hand harvest those ears, and you put them in day one. They go into bucket. Obviously day one you're going to need 2 or 3 buckets. Hopefully day 3 will all fit into one bucket, and so on and so on. Bring them back to the shop. What I want you to do then is go ahead and do the old-fashioned measure them around and long. Count the kernels, count the rows. We figure for every 2 rows around that you lose, that's 20 bushel. For every 2 kernels that you lose, that's 10 bushel. Maybe it's a little more, maybe it's a little less. I don't argue with people on their special formulas. That's not what we're here for. So you take those measurements day one, day 2 versus day 3, day 4. Then I want you to hand shell them, those ears, one by one. And that's where the little scale comes in from Office Depot. So you hand shell that ear, put him on the scale, see what he weighs. And then you take that average for your day 1 emergers, average for day 2, average for day 3. I think you're going to find what we did time and again is the more your emergence is spread out over the days, the more plants you have emerging 3, 4, 5, 6 days after your day 1, you lose a lot of yield. We also used what we call a Pogo Stick from Precision Planting. It's a stick with an iPad tray, and then we used their app. And that has calculations in it for spacing, singulation, and emergence, and formulas for how much yield you lose on a late emerger. Really good, really scientific. I think the precision engineers said they've logged, I think, over 12 million corn plants through that app. But you don't need that. We use it because we're a dealer and that's what we do. You guys don't even need that. So you get the ears in, rows around, kernels long, do that yield formula. You're going to see a big drop off in yield on your later days. Weigh them. Remember, it's 16 ounces to a pound, 56 pounds to a bushel. You're going to be amazed at how much yield you're losing on your 3, 4, and 5, 5th day emergers. What I want you to look at is, one, how even is your emergence? We want as many in day 1 and 2 as possible. How many days is it stretched? And what is our yield loss? Then you want to start asking yourself, why? Why are we emerging uneven? It is very rarely the seed. I would recommend you do a saturated cold germ test on your seed. If it does not have a cold heart ready for the cold weather, and you plant it in cold weather, you're going to be looking for trouble. That's going to hurt your emergence. Planter performance is a huge part of it, but don't discount the soil preparation. And it's not so much of what day we planted and how fast they came out of the ground, it's how even they come out of the ground. Your plants can stay underground for 2 weeks and still have very good emergence and very good yield. It's when plants emerge 4, 5, 6 days after day 1. You know, we had some in this emergence book. The guy was losing $300 an acre. He planted in poor conditions. His emergence was very bad. Cost him a lot of money. The other thing I want you to consider, we use Sabrex. This is a biological seed treatment. It's almost like talc. You just sprinkle it on. Yes, we sell Sabrex, so full disclosure. But if you're not using a biological, some guys use Ascend, some guys use Invigorate, Sabrex, I'm sure there's more out there. If you're not using a type of biological, if you're not using starter fertilizer in the furrow, maybe it's something you at least want to test. Test it on your farm, and then you can do row 1 and row 2 right next to each other and see if that biological paid. What we found this year was row 1 was naked, row 2 had Sabrex, and the Sabrex row not only emerged better, had a much better score, but the Sabrex row was 1.42 ounces heavier per ear than the non. So I had to write this down. So if you're, let's say it's 1.6 ounces, if it's a tenth of a pound per ear, that equates to 61 bushel an acre. So we were like 54, 55 bushel an acre difference just from 30 inches from row 1 to row 2. Row 2 was 54 bushel an acre better because of the biological treatment that was on there. Does that work every year? No. In 2016, it didn't matter because everyone looked good. Mother Nature just hit us a home run and did us a favor. But not every year is perfect. So we kind of look at the biologicals like insurance. The same with downforce, closing wheels. Your planter performance is almost like a risk management tool. What can we do when conditions aren't perfect? What can we do to get even emergence and capture as much yield as possible? So That's what we did. You can do it at your farm. It's not that hard. It's not that expensive. It just takes time and a little bit of brain power. Once again, this is our emergence test. If you want to go through it, if you're curious, give us a call, 309-208-0117. Stop on by. We're here in Poplar Grove, Illinois, right next to the state line. And we'll be glad to go through it with you and maybe help you improve your bottom line on your farm. So with that, appreciate it, and we'll talk to you later.